Let go of the hurts. Let go of everything this man must have done to you. It's not about you again. It's about the children, especially for those fathers that are willing to be in their children's life. Don't use them as a tool to get back to their father. Let's talk. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Carabel and I'm super delighted to have you guys back again today. So shout out to all of my new subscribers. I really appreciate you and I see what you guys are doing. Thank you and welcome to the channel. There was a situation that happened recently that triggered me to talk about this because most of my videos are triggered by real life issues, right? So I saw this video of Nikki and Jamie. Jamie made a video. If you don't know who Jamie and Nikki is, they were the sensational for YouTube couples. I remember just starting to enjoy YouTube. They were one couple I always look out for because I just love their content and how they share the beautiful story of how love should be and how parenting should be, and it was beautiful. Fast forward later, they got divorced, something went wrong, or they came out to talk about their separation and they never said anything, why they separated, what happened. A lot of their subscribers were heartbroken, including myself, because I really enjoyed watching them as a family, because I am a family person, and when I see people portraying that positivity of how family could be or should be, and it just melts my heart, really. A lot of people were curious to know what happened during that course. Some people said the guy cheated and that was why Nikki left the guy and all of those stories, but because they weren't saying anything, it just went by. So fast forward later, we found out that they were co-parenting, and I just love their maturity, and I said, wow, this is how it should be. Regardless of what must have occurred in the relationship, they are coming together for the wellness of the children. And it was beautiful to see that they were doing it so nicely and so maturely. Fast forward to last week, Jimmy came up with a video on YouTube and everywhere went bizarre. He talked about what really happened in their relationship. He went as far as saying that he took him this long because he knew that during the court processes, he didn't want to do anything to jeopardize, anything that would prevent him from being in his children's life. One thing I really admired about Jimmy, just watching him, how present he was in his children's life and how he was fighting to be in his children's life. And I love it when I see men that are really fighting to be in their children's lives. I mean, it's beautiful to see, because we've also heard stories about men that really don't care. But when you see men that are willing to be in their children's life, I feel like it's something that we should admire and put all our differences aside to come together for the well-being of these children. But the video wasn't necessary. I was asking myself, why after 4 years are you coming to say this? Why is this video important? Because a lot of people have moved past that situation. But a lot of things were said in that video, and it turns out that Nikki was violent in the relationship, allegedly according to Jamie, because he had a lot of receipts. He came out with a lot of receipts and he showed where Nikki was yelling and being violent. And I was thinking to myself, why are you bringing out this information? Is it necessary? His reasons for doing that is because he has lost a lot of deals. That during the divorce process, a lot of people were speculating, and Nikki was jumping from one of those blogs, liking those blogs. They were saying that he cheated, but actually it was Nikki that cheated. Blah blah blah. He shared his own story. If you've not seen the video, go and see the video. One thing that really got me worried was the fact that Jimmy did not take accountability whatsoever in what really happened in that relationship. And when people don't take accountability and just blaming one person, I find it very difficult to believe. I always say in my channel, there's a danger to a one-sided story. So I don't know what really occurred, but was that video really necessary? I don't think so, especially how they've been able to move on all these years. But I guess he wanted to clear his name because he felt like a lot of things, his YouTube channel, he's not growing anymore. He talks about not being broke, and I was just, all I hear from the video was, I'm broken and there's something happening. And in my head, why are you doing it? What is the why behind what you did this video? The same children you talked about being so much in love with, and you want them to have a good life, just seeing both of you coming together to raise them because you don't want them to have a picture of what must have gone wrong in the relationship. Doing this video, are you really thinking of these children, or you're just being selfish at this point? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment section. But that was the vibe that I was getting. I'm not defending Nikki. There was also a time that I had a conversation with Nikki, and she said something. Nikki, you've been the only one that have been violent in this relationship, and Nikki didn't say anything to defend that. So that means maybe she's the only one. I don't know. But why bring out this video? Are you also thinking about the children that you claim to love and how you want them not to see this kind of things between both of you on social media? You guys have done so well. You've come this far. What is the issue? Two things. I do not like when people come out and not take accountability. Oh, it's your fault. It's the person's fault. What did you do? I can guarantee that you weren't perfect in the whole process of the relationship. No, I'm not here to defend Nikki because Nikki had a lot. This is what happens when relationship goes sour. This is what happens when two adults decide to go their separate ways. Some people do not know how to take rejection. I don't know, maybe Jamie was triggered to see that Nikki is just moving on with her life, because there's so many things he talked about, that I felt like Nikki was really selfish, and I felt really bad for Jamie. Allegedly, if those things are true, the way he said it. So Nikki came out now to say she's never been the one to talk about her private life, but now she has no choice than to come out to, defend herself as well. So while we're waiting on that, the reason I'm talking about this is because in the video that Jimmy did, he was talking about how sometimes he can't get a job. He has to, go as low as, now he's a cab driver because he really wants to be present in his children's life, because he can't get a 9-to-5 job, or he doesn't know where to keep his children, and I think things are not really working well with them when it comes to parenting and co-parenting at this point. Once there is children involved, it's not about you anymore. You have to keep your selfishness aside. You have to keep it. You have to swallow the pain. I know, because parenting is a responsibility, but for the well-being of your child, put all those things aside and find ways to come together to co-parent. Because if you love your children, you wouldn't deprive them from their fathers. Especially, I'm not talking about the deadbeat fathers, because there's some men that really do not care. Like, they don't care what if you and your children exist. So when I see fathers that are willing to be in their children's life, that are fighting so hard despite everything, please do not deprive your children from this. I've heard situations where some women are so bitter to the point that they will tell the children that your father is no longer alive. Why would you do that to the father of your children? Why would you do that to your children? Why would you deprive them of the love because of what must have occurred in your relationship? When I speak like this, I'm not by any way downplaying what you must have gone through, because I know how men could be. Except you know that your children's life are in danger and you don't trust the father of your children, maybe yes, you will stand your ground and do everything to prevent them from seeing this man. But if you know that he is a good father, he wants to be in his children's life, please do not deprive them. I can't imagine life without my father. I say this all the time. He showed me so much love that it's just so beautiful to watch. I respect parents that are able to come together and let go of every of the things that this man have done to them, but for the sake of their children, find ways to co-parent with this horrible person you call a partner. It is hard, but if you really love your children, if you really care for them as much as you claim that you do, let them see their father. Some of you will be so bitter that you don't even think of getting married again. They will deprive themselves from love. They will deprive themselves of, attracting abundance and love that they desire. But because of this one man that have moved on with his life and even started dating someone else, you're bitter, you're not living life. You don't even love yourself, sis. Because if you love yourself, you know that that man is not worth all this drama. Last week also, there was one that went viral in Nigeria. His name is Dotsun. I've never seen a man crying online for his children. He was literally crying, going from one block to the other, because he wants to be in his children's life. He's a radio personality, such a groovy guy. When I started admiring Dotun was when I saw a video of him and his children. I fell in love with his personality. I fell in love with the way he loves his children. He has girls. And for a man to be online crying that he wants to be in his children's life, that really broke me. To think that he's been deprived from seeing his children have been flown out of the country without his consent. Can you imagine? Why? Really, why? Is he that bad of a father? And everyone that talked about him said he's a good father. He might not be a good husband. He might not be a good lover, but at least he's a good father. Don't deprive him from being in his children's life. You should be lucky that you have men that are just crying and wanting. Some men are just deadbeats. They don't care. They're moving on to the next person to produce another child. They don't care about you. Fathers, you guys should also do well. Do well by your partners. Learn to be a good partner to your wives. To avoid this story that touches the heart. Because if you are a good lover from the beginning, a good friend, maybe it wouldn't be this hard. I don't know. Men do better. Because all of this would have been avoided if every one of us were responsible and do the right things. Love the way you should love. Respect your partner. Be a present father. Be a good father. Be a good husband to your wife. Avoid things like this. I feel like the children suffer so much from all of this. Innocent children, they end up suffering so much. Find ways to co-parent with the father of your children. If you really love those children, do the best to ensure that their well-being comes first.